Hi everyone, this is Ajanta ma'am. Today I shall be doing Act 4 Scene 1 of Merchant of Venice. This act is very important for your upcoming board exams. In this scene, the Duke and the Magnificos, Antonio, Bassanio, Gratiano, Celerio and others are present. This is happening in Venice, a court of justice. In Venice, the Duke opens Antonio's trial by saying that he pities Antonio because of Shylock, who is an inhuman wretch, incapable of pity. The Duke has attempted to persuade Shylock to spare Antonio, but Shylock will not listen to anyone. Antonio replies that he is prepared to suffer Shylock's rage with quiet dignity. Now the Duke's inhuman wretch remark is the first of the many instances in this court scene in which Shylock will be described as a non-human. Antonio's gentleness is therefore contrasted with Shylock's refusal to be swayed from enacting his revenge. Therefore, the Duke begins by summoning Shylock into the court and tells him that everyone believes that Shylock means only to terrify with this performance, and that at the last minute Shylock will show mercy and spare Antonio and forgive his debt. As the Duke says, we all expect a gentle answer due. A Gentile is a non-Jew. The Duke's pun on the phrase gentle Jew is an insistence by the Christian court that Shylock shows what is believed to be the non-Jewish trait of Christian mercy. We all know that Christians hated the Jews, and Shylock, therefore, also has his own hatred for the Christians. Shylock insists that he wants his bond and that if the Duke refuses him, it will make a mockery of Venice and the entire justice system. Shylock refuses to explain why he wants a pound of flesh rather than the money. He says that some men do not like pigs, some do not like cats, and that he does not have to explain himself any further than by saying that he hates Antonio. Accused of being inhuman himself makes Shylock very angry, and he starts comparing Antonio to various animals. Bassanio, who is in the gathered crowd, tries to argue with Shylock. But Antonio interrupts, telling Bassanio it is no use. You might as well try, he says, to argue with a wolf as to try to soften Shylock's hard Jewish heart. That is what Antonio says. Bassanio even offers Shylock twice the 3,000 ducats that is owed to him. Shylock retorts that he wouldn't accept 6 times that amount. Again, the Christians insult the Jews as animals, and in the case of Shylock, it is true that his heart cannot be softened. He wants revenge. But the Christians do not recognize that their own abuse and institutional prejudice fuel Shylock's rage. Shylock is extremely angry, and he will settle for no less. Shylock says in his speech that I have possessed your grace of what I purpose, and by our holy Sabbath have I sworn to have the due and forfeit of my bond. If you deny it, let the danger light upon your charter and your city's freedom. You'll ask me why I'd rather choose to have a weight of carrion flesh than to receive 3,000 ducats. Therefore, Shylock seems obdurate, and he tells the Duke that he has already mentioned what he means to do, that is to have his bond forfeited. I have taken an oath by a holy Sabbath to exact penalty, and which has become due to me for the non-payment of the bond, because of the non-payment of the bond. He says, and if you refuse me to grant me justice, you will be responsible for the cancellation of the charter, which safeguards the liberties of the city of Venice and its foreigners who come to trade in Venice. Perhaps you might ask me why I prefer a pound of dead, rotten flesh to 3,000 ducats. He says he will not answer the question and says that it is just his whim. And he calls out to the Duke and saying that does that answer satisfy you? Does it satisfy you? If a rat has been causing mischief at my house, I may be glad to spend 10,000 ducats to have it destroyed. And there are some people who cannot stand the sight of a whole roasted pig, some who fly at rage seeing a cat, others who lose self-control on hearing the usual music of the bagpipe. Therefore, it is Shylock's rage that is speaking here. And Shylock is so angry that he will not answer as to why he wants the pound of flesh from Antonio. Thank you so much for watching my videos. If you want to watch more, please continue to watch my videos, coming videos. Thank you.